Okay, this is going to be my second red flag video, mainly to ask the people who actually support red flags why. I'm going to assume you don't actually know what they are, or you think Minority Report was a documentary and not an actual movie. Alright, here's basically how this goes. What a red flag law is somebody reports to the police something they think they heard or said, or they report to the police that their neighbor who may possess firearms is a danger to society. Now, they don't actually require any proof of this. It's pretty much going by what they say. So the police supposedly do an investigation, which I don't know how you can investigate the fact that a crime has not been committed and this person hasn't done anything. But then they get a judge to sign an order, which is unconstitutional, to go to you and basically violate your Second Amendment rights. Again, no crime has been committed. Nothing. It's all going by what they said, and there's nothing to investigate because, as I said, this person who owns firearms hasn't broken the law. Now, I can understand if this person put out some kind of message saying they were going to do something, and then you found stuff that basically proved that they were planning on attack, then you might have something. But no, that's not what this is about. In fact, they know red flags are such bullshit because when they're serving the red flag warrant, it's not called a red flag warrant. It's called a high risk warrant. Because they know damn well high risk sounds scary and makes it sound like they're justified in what they're doing. And basically it's swatting. Because more people have ended up dead because of this. What you were doing is saying, hey, that person has guns. They shouldn't have guns. They're mean people. Go take them away. And they get a judge to sign off on this. Which, in more ways than one, is extremely fucked up. I mean, we have due process for a reason. Our justice system is innocent till proven guilty. Red flag laws, or as the people who are enforcing this bullshit, high risk warrants, are guilty till proven innocent. You don't actually have to commit a crime, or even plan a crime. But at this point, the second they take your guns away, you've got to prove that you weren't going to do something. Especially if there's nothing in your past that would suggest you were going to do whatever it is they think you were going to do. And that's just it. It doesn't say, well, this person was planning this attack. It just says you were high risk for having a gun. That's what it is. There was no end game of, oh, we stopped him from committing this crime. There was no crime. You didn't stop anything. All you did was violate somebody's Second Amendment rights. And that's a little fucked up. That is why red flag laws are unconstitutional. Any cop who enforces them is an oath breaker and should be removed off the job. Any judge who signs the warrant to have your guns removed also is an oath breaker and should be removed off the bench. That's why this is being fought so hard. Again, if it was justified, you would call it a red flag warrant. You wouldn't call it a high risk warrant. You have absolutely zero evidence that this person is a high risk. The only evidence you have is somebody said something about him, so you went and took his guns, or her guns. Basically, we have a neighbor who's anti-gun, and then it's like their neighbor should be a gun owner. I can promise you that the people who are making these false accusations are only okay with having somebody's rights violated because they don't exercise those rights. But I can promise you if they were having their rights violated over something that didn't happen, they'd be pretty pissed too. But apparently, I've heard really bad arguments like, oh, so stopping future crimes or preventing a crime is a bad thing. Okay, what crime did you prevent? What crime did you stop? None of this. You can't answer that question because, well, no crimes were stopped. You have no evidence a crime was stopped. Seriously, a red flag warrant doesn't require an actual crime to be committed. It just requires you to say, I believe that person's a danger. Take his guns. And the cops are like, okay, we'll do it. Which is really dumb because it's basically a legal version of swatting, which I know I've mentioned during this video, but I'm trying to count the time because, well, it's been a while since I put out a video and I want to make sure it's not like 3 seconds. Okay. Now I've got that covered, and the fact that people who call this shit in or report to the police that their neighbor is mean and has no right to have guns. That way the cops go and take them and probably shoot and kill them because they refuse to give up their rights. Yes, that is what's happening. They're not being combative. Not that they're not following orders. A cop is there to violate their rights. They fight back because you can't legally violate their rights. You cannot take their guns without proving in a court of law that they have done something that prevents them from owning guns. Or, well, prevents them from legally owning guns. That step is completely passed up, which is called due process. I know you don't like that, but that's honestly just the way this is. And the only politicians and people who are pushing red flag laws and saying they are perfectly legit are anti-gun people. The people who want to take your guns in the first place. This is actually basically called a loophole to gun confiscation. Your guns are being confiscated when you have not done anything for that to happen. Okay, this next video, which I'm going to put on the tail end of this, isn't a red flag thing once I looked into it, but it is about somebody who was shot by the police in their sleep. They fired through the window and killed this person in their sleep. Now, to get more details on it, I'm going to play the video from another mutual follower of mine who's a journalist on Twitter. Well, not journalist on Twitter, but a journalist who happens to be on Twitter. Now, before I get into that, I will also link the original place where the video was uploaded, and I will link the Twitter thread where the video was uploaded to. Now, she had to speed it up quite a bit to match the time frame of a video that Twitter allows. So it is sped up, and she does try to add entertainment to the video to make it interesting. Okay, in my opinion she did. Whether that was her intent or not, I can't fully say. But what you're going to see in that thread, once it's actually out, is that people who attacked her with the video. One person is an obvious feminist who's anti-gun, because the only thing that she could criticize of the video is white guy, gun nuts. That's the only criticism she had on the video. Not with how this person did the video. And then people laughed at her for blocking them because, oh, she can't handle criticism. None of the criticism you applied to this video had anything to do with her or the message. For actually, watching the video a few times, your criticism had no bearing on the video. It was made up criticism. Most people attacked her on the basis that she is a woman on the video. Basically, they attacked her for trying to sell herself in the video. Now, like I said, I watched it a few times. None of that actually happened. And one woman, I don't know if she just hated herself, but she says, as a woman, this sets us back, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't. You're just bitter. Deal with it. Again, I saw nothing in this video that says she was trying to show off her assets or anything. She was fully clothed. She wasn't in a bikini. She wasn't showing her skin. She just did a video. So like I said, I will link that thread and the location of the video with the channel that's on. And now that I've killed about 10 minutes explaining that, here comes the video.
Trump die.
Reopen America!
Not dying for Wall Street.
It's all nonsense, meant to distract people from what's really important, protecting their rights. And today, I want to talk about your right to bear arms, the Second Amendment.
First, I want to preface this by saying that I'm not a guns rights activist or even a big gun user. I do believe in all rights and that the 2A is particularly important in times like these when the government is who people need protection from. So a couple of months ago, I pitched a story at a news team where I contribute about Duncan Lemp, a young man who Maryland police murdered in his sleep because of his affiliation with Appalachia State and the Three Percenters. Here's that coverage.
Not even the worst story this week, Tim. You got another one that's also just mind-boggling, especially when it comes to the police.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. And this is one that, an area that I focus, a lot on. Probably should focus more on it. But here we have lawyer, man killed by officer was asleep when police fired. And so the man was Duncan Lemp. And here we go. A Maryland man who was shot and killed by a police officer was asleep in his bedroom when police opened fire from outside his house, an attorney for the 21-year-old man's family said on Friday. The man's girlfriend was also wounded.
I had hoped that running that story would help build some rapport with the Three Percenters so that we could learn more about the many ways in which the right to bear arms has been infringed upon and possibly offer more media coverage. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way that I planned. The Three Percenters are a notoriously closed group, and for good reason. So, with this issue becoming more important by the day, I asked a close friend of mine, Metal Marshall Beck, who is a respected member of the Three Percenter community, to vouch for me. I wanted him to say that I'm an honest journalist, that you can trust me, and that I'm not a spy. Unfortunately, he wasn't willing to do that, but here's what he was willing to say.
This reads, I have known Nikki since 8th grade. We don't agree on everything, but she's been there for me on many occasions. P.S. Her body is better than Tommy Lahird's in person. True.
Okay, so first, thank you, Marshall. Also, we're now in a fight. Tommy, my sincerest apologies. I did not ask him to say that, and obviously it's not true. If you are a Three Percenter, a guns rights activist, or you have a story of someone whose rights have been infringed upon, please get in touch. I will do my best to help draw attention to it and spread awareness. You can contact me via email, Nicole, Nicole, at 007nerd.com. Or, and the far easier way to reach me is via social media, at NRDGRL007. Thank you all so much for your time. Good night.
Okay. I apparently forgot to take my mic off mute for the last thing I just said, so I'll be cutting that part out. But what I just said is, and that's the end of that video. And I do apologize for how long this video is. I know I did talk a lot, but I kind of do that and get carried away. I will put her at in the title so you can find her. And I will link everything in the description of the video so now we can easily find it. And that's about everything. So anyways, y'all have a good day and enjoy. Bye.
Miss Osa Bear, Tatiana, Alina.
You cannot invade the mainland United States. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. Isoroku Yamamoto.
Now, you've just watched another video by Running Guns News. If you liked the video, hit like. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you actually enjoy my content, you can support me or my channel financially if you choose by PayPal, Patreon. BitChute now has an option to do monthly or one-time payments. which no matter what you pick, it's still taken out at the beginning of every month, just so you know. And you can catch my videos on other platforms, which will also be linked below. So until then, have a nice day.